imbecile or an imbecile racist. He was the type of kid growing up that would take a stick and play with dog crap. And they would say, what are you doing, Hakeem? Oh, I'm playing with dog crap. So you don't need them, and the country doesn't need them.
I don't know. It seemed clear that a vote for Susan Crawford, a vote for Hakeem, go to, again, priority for Wisconsin. Karen is in the state in question. How are you, Karen?
Hi, I'm good.
What happened?
The election, what happened?
Yeah.
People are angry. They voted for Trump, and I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump 3 times, so I am a Trump voter. But they're angry. The people who aren't hardcore Trump voters who voted for change aren't seeing any change. They're seeing the same thing. They have high egg prices and high gas prices.
Oh,
and life
Jesus.
isn't any better today
You're a fucking,
than it
you
was on
didn't vote
November
for
5th.
Trump.
And they're mad that they put that vote out there. And that's what I hear, that's what I see down on the ground here. And our Republican Party in Wisconsin is a disaster.
Okay, this is interesting. So you're saying that, would this be a diehard Trump voter who feels this way, or more the, I don't normally vote, but I voted for like the first time for Trump in this last election?
I voted for the first time for Trump in this election.
Yeah, see, now she's changing it already.
There's no way of seeing that big picture of what tomorrow brings, because they were promised on day one things will change, and they don't
A lot has
that
changed.
Day one might be a year down the road.
Yeah. Now, even though it's been 4 months, he's been in office for 4 months, that like people don't give that amount of grace of like, oh, like, and like, you could point to egg prices, right, that did go down, but they don't, still, that's not enough.
Not significantly. I was at the store yesterday. They were between $6.95 and $9.99 a dozen. I don't know if that's coming down. You're in Midland, Wisconsin. I'm in Waukesha County.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable. It's not like the judges are not allowing the stuff that could be making a change go through. But they don't care about that. They care about themselves. They care about their pocketbook. They don't see the big picture, and they don't hear the big picture unless they're listening to Breitbart or something. They only hear what's going on the regular.
Right. So they don't see the, I hear this, they don't see the vision, they don't see the changes that are happening, that are coming. They don't see the need for more wins, more victories, more momentum. Like the guy called it earlier, that Trump wasn't the victory, Trump was the entrance into the fight. Like this was the entrance into the Coliseum to start fighting. And they don't see that.
I hear you. I see it. They talk. I sit in office all day long and listen to people's thoughts.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I'm not contesting. I'm just trying to understand. So did they think that November 4th would be a magic wand? Is that kind of what they were thinking? Yeah.
Yes.
Not even 4 months.
Yes. Okay, so what do you say to that?
20th.
What would you know?
Even 3 months.
Well, you try to explain to them, how much bandwidth you have in a public place to go to. They're angry. I'm trying to say, don't be angry. Change is coming. And they said, well, we were promised change on day one. And there is no change. This is all bad. And my retirement account is a whole bunch lower.
Are they angry or are they apathetic now?
Angry. So they vote the other way.
This is 90 days.
They don't see it.
Yeah. And there is a yes there. And I get the yes. They don't care that they're state taxes. They don't care about any of that. They don't understand it. Our education level's so low that they can't even understand the waste of money.
Yeah, okay, you're spot on there. Okay, so we talked earlier about nature and just people's nature, and it's not their nature to be patriotic or righteous or good or whatever. That's just the way people are. And people if it's our fallen nature, to be me-oriented. Like Cindy Lou Who's presents and saying mine. I was like, James, those are not your presents. Those are Cindy Lou Who's presents. Everything's mine all the time, Karen. So I like this idea that everything's about me, like, yeah, of course, that's right. and they don't see it. Okay, so if you go to that person and you say, hey, Doge is well on its way to saving $1 trillion, which will decrease our deficit, which will, like save us this much money in the future, and the bond markets will improve. You're saying that argument doesn't click because that's not.
It does not click. They don't hear it. All they say is must be bad because we take people's jobs away, and these people deserve money. They don't even care that we're giving money to stupid things. I don't understand it. I mean, again, I don't understand it. So.
Yes.
Maybe you have to get the book Arguing with Idiots or whatever.
Yeah, Karen. Okay, I think you hit it. I think that is right. Karen, thank you for the call. Yes, it is. It's what? It's selfishness. It's immediate. Okay, it's instant. It's the expectation. It's instant gratification. It's instant selfish gratification. Right? As opposed to what? As opposed to prudent, I don't want to say just selfless, but we'll go with it. Prudent, selfless patriotism. Let's work.
Morning, Brandon.
I think you're on it. I think you're on that, Karen, because that speaks to fallen human nature. So, of course, that's got to be the right answer. Mike Slater, Breitbart News Daily, Smith Word.
The Will
People aren't even
Majority.
doing the fucking spiel of it.
Coming up right after the David Webb Show, we will talk last night's Wisconsin Supreme Court election with Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. It's after Webb.
The Will Majority coming up next at noon East after the David Webb Show on Sirius XM Patriot.
And before the Sentinel Group. Has video game addiction shattered your family? You're not alone. Today's $200 billion video game industry intentionally hooks kids, fueling isolation, chaos, depression, and suicide. According to a recent American Psychological Association study,
Morning, unindoctrinated. Believe it or not, it's almost 9 o'clock here. Come on. Pretty dark outside. Cold drops too. It's like 37 degrees outside. At least it's not freezing rain. Pretty close to it though.
Is that the time? My goodness. Fun show it's been. Unbreakable Investor, Build the American Dream in Any Economic Cycle. Charles Payne, Fox News, Fox News. Of course, this ties into a little bit what you're talking about with instant gratification. I'm not interested in the stock pick that's going to make me $1 million tomorrow. The privilege exists, but it's not it. It's not the game. It's not the game that you're playing. You want to play a medium or long-term game. You want to do it right. That's how Charles sees the stock market. That's the way
Yeah, it's been raining here for days, on and off. My backyard's flooded. This is going to flood my front yard.
Sirius XM Patriot presents Breitbart News Daily with your host, Mike Slater.
Okay. If no, I got a minute. Sorry. Holly said they didn't campaign in the cities enough. Maybe she works in the campaign. She works in the help. Maybe they didn't do enough. Maybe give up. Right? Maybe give up on the cities. That could be a thing. Right? Like, oh, never win that. So gotta get turnout to go in the country. And you got strategies. It's not complete. But if you only have limited resources, maybe you don't.
Burn ban. Yeah.
Easier wins. Maybe that's part of it. Interesting how let me just wrap up on this one. If we are a people who are all about instant gratification, and we are, to Karen's point, I voted for a thing. Where is it me now?
Not even fucking signaling to get into the road.
Not
how you fucking merge on a freeway.
A lot of people want the instant gratification of a vote. That's not how anything important ever works. Nothing good has instant gratification, nor should it be. By Thomas Paine called this the sunshine patriot. It's the person who always supports the
guys, that lane disappears up ahead.
Things get tough. Maybe this is sort of like a version of that. It's not the sunshine patriot, but like the instantaneous patriot. If I don't get the reward right now, I'm going to fire one shot if we don't win the battle now. Because when I play Candy Crush, I get an instant reward. When I eat chocolate cake, I get an instant gratification. When I hit the slot machine jackpot, when I buy this thing, it feels good right away. I get immediate gratification all day in life, all the time. And if I don't get it and vote it, I'm out. And not only that, but I'm bitter and angry because of it. You gotta fight against that mentality if you want to win. My side is Breitbart News Daily. Spread the word.
There's a growing expense eating into your company's profits. It's your cloud computing bill. You may have gotten a deal to start, but now the spend is sky high and increasing every year. What if you could cut your cloud bill in half and improve performance at the same time? Well, if you act by May 31st, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure can help you do just that. OCI is the next generation cloud designed for every workload, where you can run any application, including any AI projects, faster and more securely for less.
It's not, damn, nice lighting.
President Trump declares today Liberation Day.
We've been ripped off on trade. We've been ripped off on military. We protect people and they don't do anything for us. It's just so unfair for years and years. And now some of that money is going to be coming back to us in the form of tariffs.
A new round of tariffs to be unveiled by the president later today. Two Republicans, Jimmy Patronis and Randy Pine, have won special congressional elections in Florida. Well, in Wisconsin, liberal Democrat Susan Crawford defeated conservative Republican Brad Schimmel in a state Supreme Court race. Could end up tipping the balance of power in Congress. A case involving Planned Parenthood goes before the U.S. Supreme Court today.
Justices will hear arguments about South Carolina's effort to block any public health care dollars from going to Planned Parenthood. Federal law prohibits Medicaid money from paying for abortions, and the Trump administration is backing the state's case. Opponents argue that redirecting Medicaid funds will harm low-income citizens. It'll be up to the High Court to decide whether Medicaid patients can sue over their legal right to choose their own qualified provider. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Crews in Myanmar have rescued a 26-year-old man from earthquake rubble.
The man was gingerly pulled through a hole, jackhammered through a floor, and loaded onto a gurney nearly 108 hours after he was trapped in the hotel where he worked, shirtless and covered in dust, to an appeared weak but conscious in a video released by the local fire department as he was fitted with an IV drip and taken away. Safe Run MRTV reported that the rescue in the city of Nepal was carried out by a Turkish and local team and took more than 9 hours. I'm Charles Rivers.
Stock futures sharply lower this morning ahead of the opening bell. The Dow futures are down 303 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The words you're about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
You saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of independence.
It's carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing. I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
Your credit card will let you down. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Seizing control of a prison freeing hundreds of inmates, local residents run for their lives.
Officials say some of the gangs have taken over the main public school in the city. Many buildings were destroyed when the gangs stormed Mehevalet and entered the local jail. The city has a population of about 100,000 people. Asian media have reported that groups of armed residents have been patrolling the streets and have killed some of the prisoners who escaped on Monday. The latest violence comes a year after the installation of a transitional council, which was meant to restore order within 18 months and organize elections by February 2026.
The BBC's Leonardo Russia. For a second day, China's military has been conducting large-scale drills in the waters off Taiwan.
Oh, yeah.
Exercise include live fire drills in the South China Sea. Town Hall.
Yeah, I'm in no hurry this morning.
First thing, bring your A game because I'll take nothing less. We're going to have an open and open.
Idiots are still out here, so I just got to give them plenty of room to be idiots.
It's an appropriate time to bring in my first guest and to get right to that. Congressman Roger Williams of Texas's 25th District, Chairman of the House Committee on Small Business. And Congressman, before we go to the other topics, the news at the end of the day yesterday, the 9 Republicans who joined with Democrats to stop the agenda of the Trump agenda for the week. And I'll go to audio for you by Speaker Johnson on
Hey, XZ.
Well, it's a very disappointing result on the floor there. A handful of Republicans joined with all the Democrats to take down a rule that's rarely done. It's very unfortunate in this case. 96% of House Republicans voted against proxy voting because they believe it's unconstitutional and they agreed that it would open Pandora's box. So that's what we just saw. Let me just make this clear. That rule being brought down means that we can't have any further action on the floor this week. That means we will not be voting on the SAVE Act for election integrity. We will not be voting on the rogue judges who are attacking President Trump's agenda. We will not be taking down these terrible Biden policies with the CRA votes. All that was just wiped off the table. It's very unfortunate. We'll regroup and come back and we'll have to do this again.
Congressman, your reaction to what happened in the House yesterday?
I think the Speaker said it very well. I mean, the fact of the matter is
yeah, just busy as ever. We'll be going to Defiance tonight.
turned everything upside down. You know, I didn't vote for it because I don't think it is constitutional. Plus, I think you started with one group and then pretty soon you have it with another. I mean, you find people giving their voting cards away to people that weren't elected in their districts. And, you know, I mean, I've been through votes because of health reasons in my family, and others have the same story, but if you do, you miss your vote. I mean, you can't be having proxy voting in various groups, and that's one reason I voted against it.
The reaction of the Democrats as the vote was completed, I believe, says a lot. They stood and cheered. They were able to slow down the Trump agenda, as the Speaker outlined there. And this was what Anna Paulina Luna, the Florida representative who wanted the proxy voting posted on X. I am 100% supportive of Trump's agenda. It is disingenuous to lie about me or the others, Speaker Johnson. Thank you, X, for clarifying. Steve Scalise and Speaker Johnson did not have to send us home. And from the outside looking, and I have the calendar for the 119th Congress posted here by Majority Leader Steve Scalise. And I get the point of you parents. However, this is an in-person job as I see it, as many Americans see it. Proxy voting was allowed during COVID for the obvious reasons. And that is a false attack against the Speaker by Anna Paulina Luna because that was the rule in place. However, this, when you look at it, the time in Congress, the time...
All right, well, good luck on that, Eggsy.
Maybe sympathetic in one form, but asking the question, why not go to work and do the job in D.C.?
Well, that's what we're designed to do. When you run for Congress, you know that if you win, you're going to be spending a lot of time up here voting. That's what it's about. And I just get back to the whole, this is just me talking, but we all have about 1 million people in our district. We represent 1 million people, and if I'm not there, I turn my voting card over to someone else for proxy. People didn't vote for me, the people I represent. That's not what they wanted. So this is not like it's a new concept, and it's not in the Constitution to have proxy voting. It's just a bad precedent to start. These are all good people we're talking about to care about their country, but it's a disagreement. You know what the job is when you run for it. When you win it,
there's nothing to do with Trump, Diogenes.
The average American, I think, is sympathetic to the idea of a new mom. There may be understanding of a new dad, obviously, because the difference is right there. And corporations give a certain time off, but there are some jobs, many jobs across America, where time off is up to a certain point, and it may even be different for the man and the woman. This doesn't seem to fall into that category. Many Congress members have residences of
How do we know this?
Washington, D.C. And, you know, understandably, the demand is that, you know, people go in and do their job when elected to Congress.
Just curious, how do we know this? Because that's what the news tells you.
We got so much going on up here, David. We got to get this Trump agenda done. We got to cut taxes. We got to cut regulations. We got to get the border secure. We got to, you know, find out Ukraine. We got all this happening. It's got to happen quick. And 75 million people voted for President Trump because that's what they wanted. This was never in discussion. and we need to get on with the agenda. And if you're not capable of being here to vote, then that's what happens. I mean, like I said, personally, I've had family sicknesses. I didn't miss votes, or I didn't make I missed some votes. That was
Come on, it's better than the news.
Passed, and somebody vote for me.
You're informed if you're watching Bow. Buddy Bow.
25th District now to the initial topic ahead of the breaking news. You're on the House Committee on Small Business. Of course, we've got the President later today in the Rose Garden at 4 p.m. Liberation Day, as he has named it, and the goal to balance the trade relationship with many nations that tariff the U.S. at a much higher rate than we tariff them, the protectionist policies of other nations, the subsidized policies of every other nation, not that we don't subsidize industries here as well, but the idea that we need a better and fairer, balanced system. What do you say to Liberation Day and its effect or potential effect on small businesses?
We should not have these deficits we got with these other countries. I mean, we need to be the seller of, we need to be the maker of, and that's what President Trump is trying to get us to, and will get us to. We want people to bring jobs back. We want people to bring jobs they haven't into America because, you know,
they cleared out all the balloons.
Generate profit for margin, shareholders, and workers. It's greater here than it is anywhere else. We shouldn't have these deficits, and I think the tariffs are going to work. I'm in the car business, David. I think you know that. 57 years I've been in the car business, so I'll be affected by tariffs as a small business owner, but I'm not fearful of it because just the car industry alone will make it work. I mean, if you have dealers like me and we have inventory that's priced too high, we'll discount it. The customers will get that discount. The customers will get the benefit of the tax credits we're going to pass. We're going to get the benefit of higher used car prices. We'll create more equity, more down payment for them. And at the end of the day, very well could be a situation where a customer after a day could buy a car with a tariff on it cheaper.
Liberation Day.
So our industry will survive.
Yeah, we'll see.
We've had this before.
We'll see.
2016, we've been in through there. But the market will generate a market.
So Mexico's already folding on it, though.
In its own way.
Europe has already folded. They've dropped all their tariffs down to 2.5%.
This is 25th District. So let's talk about unleashing Main Street, deregulation, fueling this golden age of America.
Yeah, let the other countries decide what their tariff is, because it's just going to be reciprocal. I like that idea. They get to decide what their tariff is. Israel, that's kind of deceiving, though, Eggsy. I mean, Israel only tariffed about 1% of their inputs from the U.S. So they got rid of that 1% of the tariffs that they had on us. So yeah, they got rid of all of them, but all of them amounted to 1% of their imports.
The Golden Age hearing that we're talking about in the House Committee on Small Business, what are some of the other focal points?
Oh shit! Man, I didn't see. The guy does not have his fucking lights on.
And look at everything we do on our committee. Everything we do is generate toward Main Street America. And you know, Main Street and the success of Main Street should not be political. I mean, no matter who the president is.
Or not. It just keeps. Look at this. The guy just passed me, flying down the road with no fucking lights on. Look how dark it is.
Regulations out of people's life because it gets back down to consumer. That's who we all want to help. Everything I want to help the consumer.
Oh, lightning.
I want to help the middle income person. When you do that, they create competition on Main Street between businesses and not from the federal government downsizing and squeezing. And,
yeah, my backup camera's covered in water. I can't see it. You gotta use the mirrors. I got an old school this backup. I hope you have a great day too. I'm gonna be in Callahan and I'm gonna probably turn on the stream. We'll see. It's always my goal. Just hasn't been possible much lately.
Further thoughts it's now it's and for you, is it back to the district or wait it out? The Senate will
Peace, everybody. Love you guys.